Good evening, I'm Sonia Kaliselvam and this is KiniNews. Prosecutors have appealed against the entirety of the High Court's decision on Rosmah Mansor's case. The notice of appeal was filed today.
Prosecutors have filed an appeal against the Kuala Lumpur High Court's decision to acquit Rosmah Mansor in her money laundering and tax evasion case. This is according to Attorney-General Dusuki Mokhtar. In a statement, he said the notice of appeal has been filed by the prosecutors today against the entirety of the High Court decision. Rosmah, the wife of former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak, was facing 12 money laundering charges involving 7 million ringgit and 5 charges of failing to declare her income to the Inland Revenue Board. Judge K. Muniandi granted an order of acquittal yesterday after allowing Rosmah's application to have all charges against her quashed. In his ruling, Muniandi determined that the prosecution had failed to present the key elements of the offense of money laundering in the charges brought against Rosmah. Rosmah had applied to strike out the charges in September 2023, and the hearing commenced on December 12th of the same year.
Still on the topic, following the acquittal, several NGOs reiterated calls for a timeline on when the Public Prosecutor's Office will be separated from the AG. They also told Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim that he cannot excuse himself from any responsibility.
Several NGOs have called on Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to announce a concrete timeline for the separation of the public prosecution from the Attorney-General chambers. This came following Rosmah Mansor's acquittal over money laundering and income disclosure charges. In a joint statement yesterday, they said Anwar cannot excuse himself from any responsibility. They said as long as the Public Prosecutor's Office is not separated from the Attorney General's chambers and the AG's tenure is controlled by the Prime Minister, then the buck stops at the PM and not the AG. The statement was signed by 10 NGOs, including Project Stability and Accountability for Malaysia, the Institute for Democracy and Economic Affairs, GERAC, and Rasua Busters. While the NGOs welcomed the AGC's immediate announcement to file an appeal against the acquittal, they said it was far from enough to restore public confidence. They cited examples including how the AGC failed to deliver the necessary documents over Najib Abdul Razak's CBT charges, which resulted in the former premier being granted a discharge not amounting to an acquittal last month. The NGOs also urged the Prime Minister to make a commitment that the AGC will not file for a DNAA, withdraw its appeal, fail to file an appeal in time, or commit litigation errors, which would enable politicians to escape the court process until the AGC and PP separation is complete.
UM's Feminism Club has submitted a memorandum to the university calling for the suspension of a lecturer who was accused of sexual harassment.
The University Malaya Feminism Club has submitted a memorandum to the university demanding that it investigate and take firm action against an academic allegedly involved in sexual harassment, including sending nude photographs to students. The memorandum was handed over by Club President Chin Jess Weng to a university representative today. The memorandum had 3 key demands for the university: to suspend the academic involved, conduct a fair and rigorous investigation into the case, and strengthen the existing anti-sexual harassment policy to address its shortcomings. They also urged UM to ensure that the campus environment remains safe from the threat of sexual harassment. Chin said they would also monitor the case.
Actually, we can't promise what will UM do, but we will wait and see, and we will try to supervise. We will try to monitor these cases, and at the same time, we will keep in touch with the victim, and maybe with respecting to the victim's will, maybe we will escalate these cases to the Anti-Sexual Harassment Tribunal.
Earlier, members of the club had gathered outside the UM Chancellery building. They had chanted slogans and called for a representative to accept the memorandum.
If you'd like to access the news like this and more, scan the QR code on the screen and subscribe to Malaysia Kini. Bersih has called for an end to intimidation of activists. This was in response to the probe against Fahmi Reza, an alleged action during Swaram's 3-day exhibition in Penang.
Bersih has expressed solidarity with civil society groups and activists facing intimidation for exercising their right to free speech and expression. In a statement today, Bersih referred to the alleged action against Swaram's exhibition in Penang on deaths and torture in police custody, as well as the latest probe against graphic designer Fahmi Reza over a poster. It said the intimidations and investigations of activists show how authorities have day by day oppressed and narrowed civil society spaces. Bersih also questioned if this is the spirit of reformasi and freedom proclaimed by the Madani government. It also asked if the people were no longer free to create and be critical of the government. It added that the government should never forget that it is the people who have placed them on the pinnacles of power, and the people can pull them down too. Yesterday, Swaram Executive Director Savan Doraisamy said alleged intimidations at their exhibition included multiple visits by police at the event venue and monitoring by patrols. Meanwhile, Fahmi was summoned to Bukit Aman Police Headquarters for questioning over his graphic on newly appointed Sabah Governor Musa Aman.
Meanwhile, Shahrizan Johan said there should be a stop to investigations and prosecution concerning works of satire and parody.
Bangi MP Shahrizan Johan said a moratorium should be imposed on any investigations and prosecutions under Section 233(1) of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998 concerning satire and parody works. He said this while commenting on the probe against graphic designer Fahmi Reza over a graphic on Musa Aman. In a statement today, he said it is clear that the government's decision to table the amendment bill to Act 588, which, among other things, removes satire and parody from the false element in Section 233(1), is a necessary step and will open up greater democratic space for art and literature. He said the parliamentary approval of this bill sends a clear message regarding the need to protect satire and parody. However, he said the amendments have yet to come into force. He added that while awaiting the royal assent process, Gazette notification, and the determination of the effective date for the amendments, a moratorium should be imposed on any investigations and prosecutions under the section concerning works of satire and parody. He said the proposed moratorium is intended to respect the legislative intention behind passing the amendment bill, as the provisions are not retrospective.
The Cabinet has agreed to accept Ocean Infinity's proposal to resume the search for Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. Transport Minister Anthony Locke announced this during a press conference today.
Jemaah Menteri pada 13 Disember yang lalu, iaitu pada hari Jumaat yang lalu, telah bersetuju secara prinsip menerima tawaran daripada syarikat Ocean Infinity untuk meneruskan operasi pencarian dasar laut bagi mengesan bangkai pesawat MH370 di satu lokasi baru yang dianggarkan seluas 15,000 km persegi di selatan Lautan Hindi berdasarkan prinsip no fine, no fee. Mengikut prinsip no fine, no fee, kerajaan Malaysia tidak perlu mengeluarkan sebarang bayaran kepada syarikat ini sekiranya tiada sebarang bangkai pesawat yang ditemui. Lokasi kawasan pencarian baru yang dicadangkan oleh Ocean Infinity adalah berasaskan kepada maklumat serta analisis data terkini yang telah dibuat oleh pakar-pakar dan penyelidik. Cadangan operasi pencarian oleh Ocean Infinity ini ialah cadangan yang kukuh ataupun kredibel dan wajar diteliti oleh kerajaan Malaysia selaku negara pendaftaran pesawat MH370. Pihak Kementerian Pengangkutan sedang berunding terma dan syarat perjanjian dengan pihak syarikat Ocean Infinity yang dijangka akan dimuktamadkan pada awal tahun 2025.
Police are investigating Hadi Awang following a report lodged against him about a statement posted on his X account.
Police are investigating past President Abdul Hadi Awang over his alleged statement regarding the Batu Puteh issue, which could potentially cause unrest. This is according to Inspector General of Police Razaruddin Hussain. According to Bernama, Razaruddin said the investigation was initiated following a report lodged on Monday about the statement posted on Hadi's X account. He said a detailed investigation is underway, and the case is being probed under Section 505(b) of the Penal Code and Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. He added that Hadi would be called in soon to have his statement recorded to assist in the investigation. On May 23, 2008, the International Court of Justice ruled that Singapore has sovereignty over Batu Puteh, while Middle Rocks, located less than 1 kilometer from the island, belongs to Malaysia. The ICJ also decided that the ownership of South Ledge, approximately 4 kilometers from Batu Puteh, would be determined based on the delimitation of territorial waters.
That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Sonia Kalaiselvam. Thanks for watching.